Man decapitated near Paris. An anti-terror probe launched, prosecutors say.
Here's a summary of the article.
A history teacher was stabbed and decapitated in front of his school in a suspected terror attack near Paris, according to police. French President Emmanuel Macron denounced what he called an Islamist terrorist attack, as he visited the school and met with staff. Education Minister Jean-Michel Blanquer had earlier said that despicable assassination was an attack on the French nation. Interior Minister Gérard Darmanin said he had set up a crisis center to deal with the attack. Another police source told the Reuters news agency that witnesses heard the attacker shout Allah Akbar, or God is great. Last month 2 people were stabbed near the former offices of the Charlie Hebdo satirical magazine, the scene of a deadly terror attack by Islamist militants in 2015. 14 people suspected of involvement in the 2015 terror attack on Charlie Hebdo are currently on trial in Paris.
This post received a score of 36,000, with an upvote ratio of 93%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Greater than the victim is a teacher at the Bois d'Aulne College in Conflans-Saint-Honorin. He had shown caricatures of Muhammad during a class, which would have motivated the killer. Transil. From French news sources.
FYI, college does not mean college but rather middle school plus high school freshman.
Is it just a skewed impression by me, or why do I have the impression France consistently has a bigger problem with Islamic radicalism than most other European countries? Both were one of the primary sources of ISIS foreign fighters. There are loads of European and neighboring countries with large Muslim minorities, yet these rather brutal shootings, decapitations, provocative drawings don't regularly occur in Spain, Germany and even Albania. Is it purely because of France's foreign policy in the Islamic world, or what is it about French-speaking Europe?
Essentially, it's not usually the first generation that ends up being radicalized, it's the second generation. First-generation immigrants usually come looking for job and they are well aware that things are generally better in their new country. Find themselves in a cultural divide. They are influenced both by teachings of the new country through their school at least, but their parents also impart their own cultural leanings. And they tend to look at and describe their country through rose-colored glasses.
Third generation, the pendulum swings back, and they drink, smoke weed, and play video games.
Many people in that second generation also turn to weed and alcohol to deal with the racism and the feelings of not belonging in the country they were born in. Among the kids of Muslim immigrants that I know, many of them reject religion outright for a lot of the same reasons that lead to some Muslim immigrants embracing radical sects of Islam. The identity isn't set in stone either. Those disenfranchised kids who distance themselves from the world with weed and video games become lost adults. Lost adults are perfect targets for integration into your cult. If you're looking for an identity, you're ripe for manipulation by a group that makes you feel like you belong when you're feeling like an outsider in society. Yup. Everything from radical sects of Islam to QAnon uses very similar psychological tricks on very similar groups of people. And let's be real, hippie cults from 30-plus years ago. It affects all sides of the political spectrum. Being disenfranchised and alone, looking for an identity, you're very willing to accept one that someone wants to give you. There are people who give you a good set of values, and, more than likely, there's people who just want you for attention.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.